Hi, I'm Anna and I run UC Grace. UC Grace is a dance company based in the UK, passionate about sharing the Christian faith through dance, movement and prayer. It's been going for over 10 years now, and we have the privilege to connect people with other people in communities and mentoring and dance weekends. So it's really great that you're here, and I pray that as you learn through this video, God will speak to you and draw you into a deeper and closer relationship with Him. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to the first Swish video. This is your basic tip video where I go through how you hold it, how you begin to swing it, and how you can stand as you work with it as well. It's really important to remember the basics as you're doing it, and there's no specific right or wrong way of doing it. I'm sharing the tips that I've learned and I hope it's helpful to you. So swishes are essentially rectangular pieces of material, and down one long side and one short side, part of it will have some binding on and some curtain weights added in. It's not the whole length because it allows you to have better ebb and flow with the movement. So on this particular piece, although the gold binding goes nearly all the way to the bottom, the actual weights finish 2/3 of the way down. And similarly along the top, the weights finish about here, which is 3/4 of the way, and the binding continues a bit further down. The binding continues a bit further just to ensure that the weights remain safely encased and don't try and flick out. You'll find that most of your swishes have extra pieces of sewing bars along the curtain weights because that will ensure that they stay in place. If you feel that they're slipping at any point, there's nothing wrong with adding a few extra stitches just across the binding to secure it in place. So when it comes to working with your swish, the first thing that you really need to remember is it's just an extra tool to move with. So whether you're a regular mover or you're new to moving, there's some real simple things that you need to remember when you begin to work with your swish. The first thing is about your body itself, okay? You want to move your body as you would normally move it when you choose to dance. So I'm just going to pop my swish down for a moment and show you. So that means we want to work bending our knees, using our arms, working on our full rotation, transferring our weight, looking at levels and going sideways, okay? All of these things will help you work with your swish even better, particularly your knees and your transfer of weight. So if you want to just practice one movement, all I'm doing at the moment is I'm standing on my right leg, I'm taking my left foot forward, putting my weight down onto it, pushing back and then stepping back onto it. So I'm like pivoting forward and back. Okay, you can also try that sideways, forward and back. Don't forget the other leg, forward, back, sideways. And what that does is, if you get used to that nice simple rhythmic movement, when you have your swish, you know your feet can relax instantly into what they need to do. Okay, so let's grab our swish now and let's talk about how we hold it. So we have our corner that has the weight in. You have the short side and you have the long side. The closer you hold it to the weighted corner, the smaller the circles you create. The further away from the corner you hold it, the bigger the circles you create. So my suggestion would be, as you get used to using with a swish, you want to hold it closer to the weighted corner. So for example, on this swish, you want to be about 1/4 of the way down to start off with, okay? If you're a bit more confident, go halfway. And if you think, nah, I can do this, head down to that bottom bit down there. Now, when you're holding your swish, you will notice that most of them are made of quite delicate fabric. So you really want to make sure that your fingertip light on the binding alone, because as it is, the weights, the curtain weights will pull on the lovely fabric anyway, and the swish and ebb and flow when you move on it will also pull on it. So the lighter touch you can have on it, the better it is for the longevity of the swish. So corner, Okay, so I naturally swish in my right, so I'm focusing on swishing on my right. So this is my right hand. If I mirror you, okay, this obviously is your right hand. So you want to take your right hand about a quarter of the way down. So I've gone about 6 inches down on mine. Totally your judgment, okay? And I'm holding the weighted corner in my left hand. Now the reason I begin holding it is that it helps to begin the swishing flow. Because if you just started like this as a complete new beginner, it would be tricky to get going easily. Okay, now I've managed it because I'm used to what needs to happen, okay? But for you, you want to begin holding it at the corner and then way down the swish where it is that you want to hold it. So I'm just going to step back so there's a bit more space. And what you do is take your arms up to eye level to start off with, okay? And you're going to drop your arm down, and as you drop your arm down, you let go, okay? And to start off with, nice, easy, slow figure of 8s, okay? Now I'm holding it about 6 inches from the top, okay? If I was to hold it higher up, so like really close to the top, okay? As I begin my circles, you'll see how tight they are in front of me, okay? If you extend it down, you need a bigger range of motion in that arm, okay? So at the moment, we're just getting used to what it feels like in our hands. And that's all I would want to encourage you to do. Simply get used to flowing with it, okay? Now, what you can also try and do is to take your other hand that's loose, take it towards your hand so it's making the same motion, switch it into that hand and keep going. So do that a few times so you get used to switching. So you swing a few times, both hands together, and then the other one takes hold. Both hands together, and the other one takes hold. Now what you can also do as this is happening, as you bring your hand in, you can slide your hand up so you can make your swing circle smaller. So mine is now much smaller than I had before. Okay, take a break. So that's how you basically get going with your swish. And I encourage you just to settle into that and begin to relax and see what happens with your body. And then we can move on to the next step.